Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video, I will show you how to use the contact access button of iOS 18 in React Native's new architecture. So let's get started. If you don't know what the contact access button is, it is basically used to request specific contacts only without getting the full contact list. So that's the advantage of it. I'll show you the output at the end of the video. But yeah, let's get started. So firstly, you will have to go to this particular documentation of native components, because we have to use something called fabric. And other thing is, the entire UI will be in Swift UI, which is a native iOS code. We won't be writing any React Native code for the UI part. That's what I mean. We will be having a React Native project, so I want to make that very clear. The output will have a search bar and it will have the contact access button. Now some of you might say that, okay, we can create that search bar at least in React Native. You can, but but things will get pretty complicated. Then you will have to send those data back to Swift UI side, update that particular view. So it will get extremely complicated. That's the reason why I have kept everything in Swift UI. But if you are capable of doing part of search bar in React Native and the rest in Swift UI, you can do that as well. So first you will just have to create a React Native project. You can use this React Native CLI command. Okay, and don't write this particular part. We require CocoaPods, so don't ignore this. Just write it till here, only till here, and you can replace this demo with your own project name. I'm using React Native 77 at the time of me recording this video. Other thing is, from React Native 77, the iOS part has been completely changed to Swift, but we need to write Objective-C as well. So it has its own little bit tricks as well. Like, it is a little bit complicated, but that's why I want to show each and everything to you. So just create a React Native project. Okay, then you don't need to run this command. We will be creating this manually. So first, once your React Native project is ready, create a folder called specs. Okay, inside that, create this file called my contacts access native component.ts. Now here they have done the same thing. They have created a specs folder. We don't require this Android thing because this is only an iOS specific tutorial. Okay, so just scroll down. Here you can see they have created this WebView native component.ts, but WebView does not make sense in our case, so I have written it as my contacts access. Okay, the native component part is mandatory. Whatever file name you give to your TypeScript file, it's fine, but make sure you end it with native component.ts. And if you follow a different file name, that's fine as well, but if you're doing this for the very first time, it's better you follow what I'm doing, because this particular name will be used in a lot other places as well. So yeah, that's just want to make that clear. Now inside this particular file, I have just copied this code from this particular documentation, but I have removed few things. I don't require this bubbling event handler, so I have removed this particular part and this particular part as well. Okay, I'm not taking any props, I'm not taking any events, so I have removed this particular part as well, and I have just changed the name as well. So if you see over here, I have kept this native props. Okay, and then here I have just changed this particular name based on our TypeScript file name. That's all I have done. Okay, then let me just scroll down. Then inside your package.json file, you have to add this bit of code, but again we'll have to change. Instead of WebView, it would be my contact access over here as well as over here. The RCT will be common. Okay, as well as over here as well. Instead of WebView, we'll have to write custom my contact access. So if we go to package.json, here you can see I have copy pasted this particular bit of code gen config. I have added the name, I have added the type as components, then this is the JS src directory specs, and here I have added the Android package name com.mycontactaccess. Then here inside iOS, I have added the component provider custom my contact access and RCT my contact access. Now just open your terminal and you will have to cd to your React Native project. So I will just cd to my React Native project. Okay, so this my React Native project is RN app. I'll just clear everything out, and then given that we have made changes inside our package.json file, you will have to do npm install. I have already done it, so I won't do it again. Once that is done, scroll down, select the iOS section, and here firstly we will have to cd to the iOS folder over here. So just cd to iOS, and then we'll copy this particular command and paste it over here. So this will install some dependencies. Okay, and then we also need to do bundle exec pod install, so it will do the code generation based on the TypeScript file which we have created. So again, I have already ran this command, so I'll just do Control C. These two commands will take a little bit of time, so be patient. Once that is done, you will have to open the XE workspace of iOS inside Xcode. So just go to your iOS folder inside your React Native project, and you can just double click on this .exe workspace. It will open it inside Xcode. Now I have already done that. Next, if you want to go through the documentation, you can, but it won't make much sense in our case. We have to change everything. Only this create a new group that we can use. Okay, but if you want to go through the documentation, you can do that. So first we have to create a new group. So for that, you can just right click on your project, select new group, and give name as my contact access. I have already created, as you can see over here. So I'll just delete this extra group which I have created. Then inside that, you have to right click, and this is very important, do not select this new empty file. It will land you in trouble. Select this new file from template, and here you will first have to select Objective-C file. Click next, and you have to give name as rct whatever is your TypeScript file name. So my TypeScript file name was my contact access. Okay, so something like this. Now click on next and click on create. I have already created it, so I won't create it again. And Xcode will ask, do you want to create a bridging header? Click yes. That is very important. Once you click yes, you should see this particular file, Objective-C file. You will have to change the extension to .mm, so it is Objective-C++. Change the extension manually, and you will see this bridging header file. Do not create this manually. If Xcode does not ask you for creating this bridging header file, that means you didn't follow what I advised. This needs to be created by Xcode. I mean, we can create it manually. Then you will have to go to build settings and everything, which I don't know exactly what you will have to make some changes manually, which I'm not really aware about. That's why I don't like doing this myself. Then inside your bridging header file, you will have to add this particular import, rct app-delegate.h. Okay, this is because from React Native 77 the iOS project is in Swift, that's why. Next, you will have to again right click, new file from template, select an header file, click next, and give the same name, rct my contact access, and click on create again. Okay, I have already created it, like you can see over here. Next, you again right click, a new file from template, select Swift file, click next, and here you can name it as my Swift UI view, as you can see over here. And again, you will have to create one more Swift file. So just right click, select new file, click next, and you will have to give name as Swift UI view. So these two Swift files also you need to create. And now first, let's go to the header file. So this I have copied it from the documentation. So if you want, you can go to the documentation over here. Here you can see this is the documentation. So I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here. Okay, only thing which I have changed is this particular name over here. Okay, rest everything remains the same. Then I have created an Objective-C file. Again, I'll just show you quick code. Now this is I mean, if you want to follow this Objective-C file, you can do that, but there will be a lot of changes as well. So firstly, I have imported UI kit. I'm not sure if this is necessary, but I have just added it just to be on the safer side. Here we are importing our header file. Now this is very important. This you won't see in the documentation. This should be your bridging header file name or your project name. So here you can see my project name and bridging header file name is same, rnapp. So that's what I have need to use, and dash swift.h will be common for everyone, so that you can copy paste. Here you will have to write your own project name. This is because we are trying to call some Swift code inside Objective-C. That's why we have to do this. Okay, this I have copied it from the documentation, so you can do that as well. This has been copied from documentation. This also I have copied it from documentation, only this name has been changed and this name has been changed as well. Then here I have created rct my contact access as well, and here I have created a UI view, and here I have created this my Swift UI view as well. So this is the reference of our Swift file, which I will tell you later on. Okay, then here inside init we are initializing our Swift file, as well as setting some auto resizing mask and adding it as a subview to our parent view. Then here we are just laying out our Swift UI view, and this again I have copied and pasted from the documentation. Only this name has been changed, this name has been changed, and this name has been changed. Okay, there are rest of the things as well in the documentation. If you see this props, which I have completely ignored because we are not sending any props, and this event emitter part as well, we are not really interested in that, so I have ignored that particular thing as well. Okay, so this is how our Objective-C++ file looks like. Next we need to go to our my Swift UI view file. Here I have imported foundation, UI kit, as well as Swift UI. Then here we are extending UI view. Then here we create initialize init. Here we get hold of our root view controller. Here we just do UI hosting controller and pass our Swift UI view file which we have created. So that is a separate file. Then here we get hold of our view from our Swift UI view. We have to go through the UI kit route, unfortunately, but yeah, that's the reality. Then here we set the auto resizing mask as false. Then add the hosting controller as root view controller child. Then here we add the Swift UI view as a subview. Then here we set NS layout constraints as well, and then we just do vc.did move to parent root view controller, and here we just override this required init as well. Okay, so anyways, so I have just overridden this. Then here I have created this Swift UI view as well. Here I have imported Swift UI, imported contacts and contacts UI as well. Swift UI view. Okay, now here is the actual part. So here I am creating this variable which will hold the selected contacts by the user. Now do note that this is just a normal variable. If you close your app completely and reopen it, the contact access will get lost. So you will need, instead of this variable, you will have to store it in some persistent storage, maybe Swift data, cloud data, or you can send this list back to React Native side and maybe use some third-party library like SQLite or Watermelon DB. I have not showed that because again the tutorial will become extremely complicated. It's already very complicated, that's why I'm not going into that. Then here is our search text for searching it inside the text field, search text field. And here is our filter contacts. It is like a computed property, I guess. And if search text is empty, then we return all contacts, else we just filter everything, and whatever has been entered inside the search text, we return it back. Then here I have created this navigation stack. Here I have created a V stack. Then here I have created a list. I have created this filtered context, and here we are just searching by our search text. Then here I have created a contact access button. Here we are passing the search text query string, and whatever we get, we just fetch it inside our results. Now one more thing, while displaying it, I am just displaying contact.given name, but you can get other properties from the contact as well. So if I just show it to you, I have kept things simple. Now Xcode IntelliSense is, yeah, so here you can see you can get all this data like department name, email address, family name, I think there is phone number as well, but do keep in mind this can be nil as well. So yeah, just bear that in mind. But for now I'm just, whenever user has selected a contact, and we just say hello to whatever is the contact name, but you can play around with this with all other values from the contact as well. Then here we set the font system size, foreground style, tint, contact access button caption, and contact access button style as well. And here I have applied padding. Then here we use this fetch contacts with identifiers. Here we have created a task. Then we just do cn contact formatter, passing the full name. Then we create a fetch request out of it. Then we create a predicate. Here I have created one more temporary array. So we just enumerate over all the contacts which we have got and append it to a new contact. And then whatever we have this new contacts, append it to the main contacts array. That's what we are doing over here. Then go to your iOS project, go to general. Here click on this plus button, and like I mentioned, this contact access button is only available from iOS 18 and above, so you will have to change 18.0 over here as well as over here. Once that is done, the next thing which you need to do is you will have to come to this info.plist. so for this you can just right click on it, open as source code, or you can do this changes via VS Code as well. So here you have to add this key of ns contact usage description, and here you need to specify why you need require this particular permission. Okay, so I think that should be it. We need to also add, so we don't need to do this. Yeah, we are not using WebKit. Now we need to see how to use it. So for that you can just go to app.tsx, and here you can see I have imported my contact access, and here we just do my contact access and pass the styles to it. So this is the style which I'm using, 100% by 100%. Okay, so hopefully you got the point. I know this is a bit complicated, but yeah, unfortunately that's how it is. We still have to go through Objective-C for React Native. But if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Now let's go and see the output, how it looks like. Okay guys, so here is the output. Now here you can see the search field. If you want, you can go to your contacts. I'm running it on a simulator. So if you can see your contacts, what all different contacts are present. So I will try searching for one of this contact inside our app. So the bottom part which you see is the contact access button. I will just search for apple seed, and here you can see I'm able to see the contact. I'll click on this add button. For the very first time I need to give it permission, so I'll click on allow limited access. I'll click on add again, and here you can see we are able to see this particular contact been added. I'll try to select another one as well. So here you can see Anna is also present. I'll click on add, and here you can see I'm able to see both of them. So yeah, if you want to add one more, I'll just show you that Kate. I'll click on add, and if I just clear this out, here you can see we have this contact. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial. Do keep in mind, like, we are not persisting this data, so if you reload your app, all this data will get lost. You need to save it inside your database if you want. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.